Diamonds are forever. They are all I need to please me. They can stimulate and tease me. They won't leave in the night. I've no fear that they might desert me. Diamonds are forever.
All right, welcome back to another episode with your host, James St. John Smythe. Today we'll be discussing what is quite possible, well, not what quite possibly. I just did a ranking episode, last episode, and this is my least favorite Bond movie. Upon my last ranking, Diamonds Are Forever. That's right, Sean Connery's last outing as card since Jimmy Bond. Today I'm drinking a blackberry mint julep. Now, come on. I know in the past you've probably been thinking, oh yeah, St. John Smythe, your little vodka lemonade, your seltzer, your tropical drink, yeah, I'll get right on that. Now, who wouldn't want this drink? Does that not sound delicious to everybody? You look me in the eye, now remember, God's watching, and tell me that you don't want a blackberry mint julep. That doesn't sound fantastic to you. Because if the answer is no, then you're just not hooked up right. I don't know what to tell you. Blackberry mint julep. It's the fall here, but it's still 115 fucking degrees where I live, so I'm trying to go for a bourbon drink because it's football season, but it's also way too hot, so pretty much the only refreshing bourbon drink is a mint julep, I think. So, you know the routine. I've talked about it before. I make a mint simple syrup, but instead of the mint simple syrup, I did a blackberry simple syrup and just steeped the mint in that, mixed it with bourbon, and just a little soda water on top with some crushed ice. And I'm telling you, man, it's a top 3 drink I've ever had on this podcast. Huh? What do you think about that? Those are strong words. I've had some good drinks on here. Blackberry mint julep. I make mint juleps every year for the Kentucky Derby. And, man, I never knew how good a drink that was. So, mint juleps, check it out. If you want the recipe, you give me a call on my landline. My cell phone's been giving me problems, so I only accept landline calls. Diamonds Are Forever. 1971? You Only Live Twice, 67, 69 On Her Majesty's, 71. Guy Hamilton was the director. He also did Goldfinger, and I think he did the next 2 movies. St. John Smythe, can you look this shit up before you get started? I'm sorry. I thought I knew all this off the top of my head. Guy Hamilton... He did Diamonds, Live and Let Die, and Golden Gun, I think. I think he was done after that. I'll look it up and let you know later. I'll get back to you. So yeah, this was obviously... Lazenby was supposed to... We have to get in all this shit. Lazenby was supposed to come back after On Her Majesty's Secret Service. But he said, go screw, I'm not doing that. Great decision. And they started casting other people, and they were like, fuck, just bring back the Golden Goose, man. Get Connery. So they just spent all the money on Sean Connery. And it shows because the rest of the movie suffers. It was kind of supposed to be originally like a revenge kind of thing after, his wife got killed. But since Connery came back, they just rewrote the whole thing. So let's just get started. There's nothing else to say. Let's just get into Diamonds Are Forever. I'm going to have a sip of my cocktail because I'm going to need it. I'm not a big fan of this movie. And I'm going to tell you why I'm not a big fan. Maybe I'll explain to you why I'm not a fan. So we start with the gun barrel and a PTS. Let's talk about that pre-title sequence. It's Bond trying to find Blofeld. Already it's like terrible. Like that backwards filming of that Chinese guy, like throwing him against this, I don't know what, this fence. Says Cairo without moving his lips. Cairo! And then he goes to that casino, that awkward, weird punch, the guy at the roulette wheel. Where is he? And then he goes to meet that woman to ask her, and has maybe the worst "my name is Bond, James Bond" in the whole franchise. My name is Bond, James Bond. In the trailer, he sounds fine. Why did they use this version of it? It's really strange and terrible. So he's questioning this girl and just takes her top off while he's doing it, just to, intimidate her. Starts strangling her with her bikini top. I think we've all been there. And you get to see her breasts, which is always fun. So make sure and rewind and press pause and go slow motion and do that 6 or 7 times, and then you can carry on with the movie. So she tells Bond where Blofeld is. He confronts Blofeld. It's a Charles Gray Blofeld, but it's like they're making more Blofelds. Something I think he does in the book. And Bond goes in and like kills the dude in the mud bath. It's like, I guess, supposed to be one of Blofeld's doubles. And the guy has a gun on him for some reason in the mud. As they were like putting him in the mud, they were like, just in case, why don't you pop a revolver in there too? Well, does it work under mud? I don't know, but better safe than sorry. And yeah, I guess he just ends up like drowning this dude in more mud. I don't even know how this dude gets killed. But the real Blofeld comes in, or the guy we think is the real Blofeld. And his henchmen try to disarm him, but he's got a mousetrap in his pocket, as you do. And he beats up those henchmen. The fucking terrible stabbing attempt that Blofeld does with like that scalpel is horrible. I mean, just goes out like a real bitch. Rotten hell, Blofeld. And they kill, he kills Blofeld. It's kind of stupid. His henchmen, by the way, have lightning on their helmets. What do you think that's about? I just noticed that in this last viewing. You think after we need a clean slate, after the little, kerfuffle that we went through and all the previous movies and the nuclear bombs and the You Only Live Twice, that was not good. So, clean slate, Spectre, we're dropping the octopus. All right, Blofeld, what do you think? I'm thinking lightning. It just came to me. And I'm going with my gut. Put lightning on everything. And they did. So that's the end of the pre-titles. Bad pre-title sequence. It's not good. One of my least favorites. That and some of the early Connery ones have some rough ones. Like You Only Live Twice, I'm not a fan of. Live and Let Die, Golden Gun, Diamonds Are Forever. It's like 4 movies in a row where the pre-titles kind of suck. So we cut to the title sequence and the song by Shirley Bassey. Definitely one of the more iconic songs of the series. I like it. Always have. I'm not sure if it's top. It might be like approaching the top 10 list. Great song. Love seeing Shirley Bassey back. So there's a positive thing I'm saying about the movie. I like the song. There you go. So back to the movie. We go to M's explaining like diamonds and smuggling and all this stuff to Bond. And Bond's like, why would they involve us in diamond smuggling? Which is actually a pretty solid point. They meet with this guy, Sir Philip, who, I guess he knows all about smuggling and shit. They start getting all fucked up on sherry or whatever. And this is one of those cunty M movies, because, like, Bond's asking questions and stuff, because apparently, like, he was on holiday. That's the way, like, the movie said that's where Sean Connery was. He was just on holiday. So they put Bond on holiday, and, like on Her Majesty's Secret Service never existed. So they just say, while you were on holiday. He's like, may I remind you, 007, that Blofeld is dead. The least we can expect from you is a little plain, solid work. It's like, fuck you, dude. So I was either on holiday, because I saved the world for the 15th time, and we agreed to that, so you're going to give me shit for that? Or, if we're acknowledging the Lazenby era, you know my wife just got murdered. Like 30 minutes after our wedding. Oh, good to have you back. Why are you back so early? I thought you were on your honeymoon. Well, she got murdered, sir, like a few minutes after the wedding. Well, the least we can expect from you is a little plain, solid work. Fuck you, man. Piece of shit. So they're off to a good start. We did manage to get things done with you gone. And they're having some sherry or whatever. He's like, pity about your liver, sir. So they just like gloss over the fact that M's experiencing liver failure. Been there. I mean, that's a true alcoholic. And Bernard Lee in real life was like a real deal MVP all-star alcoholic. Like, was drunk on set. So that's fun. That's a guy I can get behind. So maybe I'll take away all the bad things I've been saying about him. So apparently like 80% of the diamonds and stuff come from South Africa. And the workers are smuggling some out, which has been increasing. But none of the diamonds have hit the market. So they think they're stockpiling all these diamonds and dump them all at the same time to depress prices. I don't fucking know. It's a lot of science and math that are involved. And St. John Smythe's not good at either one of those things. So I don't really know what they're talking about. And they tell Bond to find out who the stockpilers are. What's going on. Not sure why they're involving him, but they are. And we cut to our 2 henchmen of the movie, Mr. Went and Mr. Kidd. 2 gay henchmen. And they're just fantastic. There's another positive. And they're killing the guy who brings the diamonds in from South Africa with a scorpion. Luckily, they found a scorpion. Hey, Mr. Wint, should we pack a gun on this trip since we're going to kill this guy? No. We'll just, figure it out. Well, what do you mean we'll figure it out? I don't know. There's, insects and stuff out there, weird stuff. We'll find something. Be fine. That death rattle he gives when he dies by the scorpion, at the hands of a scorpion, is really something to see. I can't really do it justice. Maybe YouTube it. Diamonds are forever, dentist killing. Diamonds are forever, scorpion killing. It'll really make you chuckle. So they get the diamonds from this dentist, and they give it to the guy on the helicopter that's supposed to get those diamonds. I don't even know why Wint and Kid are there, or why the helicopter guy doesn't just take it from the dentist. I don't know. I'm already confused. And the helicopter pilot's like, where's the normal guy? He was taken sick. Bitten by the bug. And they back up from the helicopter very suspiciously. And the helicopter pilot should be like, I don't think I like the way y'all looking at me. And sure enough, the helicopter blows up. A terrible explosion. Like the fakest looking bullshit you could think of. And more on that later, because that's the whole movie's littered with just terrible special effects, because they wasted all the money on Sean Connery. If God had wanted man to fly, he would have given him wings, Mr. Kid. And they walk away holding hands, which is just fun. I don't know why they have to be gay, but I just love it. And then they bring those diamonds to an old lady, who they also kill later. She's part of the pipeline. And apparently there have been a bunch of murders in South Africa, which may shut down the operation, which would be bad for Bond, I think? Or the smugglers? I don't really know. Again, I wasn't really paying super attention. It's a hard one to follow. This plot is actually surprisingly hard to follow. So, in my defense, just bear with me. So, apparently there's some smuggler in Holland named Peter Franks, who was the alias of my old co-host, Peter Frank. Peter Franks. And Bond's like, do we know who his contacts are? We did function in your absence, Commander. Let's drop the fucking tone, man. What's your fucking deal? I'm just asking a question. We're talking about a mission. I'm asking, all right, who are his contacts? We did manage to function in your absence, Commander. Dude, fuck you, man. It's a question. Just answer it. Yes, we have 1, 2, and 3. God damn. You and your fucking shitty liver can go screw somewhere. So they send Bond to Holland to pose as Peter Franks. The real Peter Franks is stopped at the airport. And Bond gets into his car. And Moneypenny gives him his passport, which is a nice little Bond Moneypenny scene. The last one we get with Connery and Lois Maxwell. Just a reminder how great their chemistry is. You get the little Bond theme going in it too. It's pretty nice. And meanwhile, during this boat tour, this poor lady's giving a tour. And she's like, and on your left, oh! And it's just that dead old woman from earlier, which is just horrifying to see on a tour. I mean, if I'm on vacay, seeing the sights in Holland, I see a dead body, there goes my afternoon. I'm gonna be a little rattled. And Wint and Kid are there to witness it, and they promise to take pictures for her students. So I guess they go back to her school and they're like, all right, hi kids, bad news, your teacher was murdered. We murdered her. Just full discretion. I want to be honest. But the good news is we have pictures. Who wants to see pictures? So Bond meets Tiffany Case, posing as Peter Franks. And she tests his prints to make sure he's actually Peter Franks, which I guess Q gave him fake fingerprints. I don't know. She changes wigs halfway through. Which do you prefer, blonde or brunette? Providing the collars and cuffs match. That's a nice little bit of nothing you're almost wearing. I approve. I mean, yeah, I got my complaints about this movie, but some of the dialogue is so quick and witty and funny. I'll give it that. That and the Wint Kid, I do like. And she's like, I don't dress for the hired help. Well, I'm not saying you put on a fucking evening gown, but maybe a goddamn robe. Cover up. You're dealing with drug dealers with criminal records on the reg. You can't be walking around like that in your underwear. I know a great little restaurant. I never mix business with pleasure. Oh, is that why you're walking around with no clothes on and making cocktails for people while a business associate is at your house? Get out of here. Now, I'm not going to say it's the victim's fault, but if someone physically assaults you, you're kind of asking for it. Don't prance around by yourself with a guy with huge men with criminal records. Like, that's not a good idea. So Q tells Bond that Peter Franks has escaped. I don't know how. They just had him in custody at the airport, but I guess they just suck at it. So he comes to Tiffany Case's house to meet with Tiffany Case, since he was supposed to do that anyway. Bond's hiding in the alleyway by, like, hugging himself. Acts like he's making out with himself, which is just horrible. Why not just hide behind a wall or something? Just hide. Or does he even know who you are? He can see you. Kind of stupid. And they end up having a fight in the elevator, which is actually a pretty solid fight. Like close quarters, so they're just breaking every single little thing in the elevator. Sprays him with that fire extinguisher like an idiot. Like, just move out of the way, dude. He dies. One of my favorite ways of death in Bond movies is just throwing someone off a balcony. Like, they hit it like waist high and they just flip over. I just always love those deaths. Casino Royale has a good one. Just using gravity as your best friend to kill somebody is just always fun. So Bond puts his wallet in Peter Franks' pocket, and Tiffany says, "Oh my God, you just killed James Bond." So I guess that's a famous person in these movies now. And Bond says, "Well, I think we ought to let Mr. Bond carry the load from here on out." So they just smuggle drugs all up his asshole. That's just the easiest thing to do. Now that's a scene I would have liked to see. Bond and Tiffany Case spending an evening in her apartment, opening up his anal canal, his anal cavity, and just shoving diamonds up there. That's just, you want to talk about a fun Wednesday night. That is fun. So they smuggle the diamonds through Peter Franks into Los Angeles. And Mr. Wint and Mr. Kidd are on the flight there, too. I must say, Miss Case seems quite attractive. For a woman. And boy, Mr. Wint is having none of that. Quite a jealous lover, Mr. Wint is. But we all know that. So Bond lands in L.A. and meets just shitty Felix. "Felix Leiter, you old fraud." "I'll give up, James. Where are the diamonds?" "Alimentary, Dr. Leiter." So these gangsters pick up the coffin as, like, funeral home people. These American gangster cliches in these movies, I kind of just can't handle it. I had a brother. The stiff, the deceased. I don't like it. They reek of the Goldfinger gangsters, and I don't appreciate it. The Goldfinger gangsters are one of my least favorite people in the entire Bond series, and these guys are up there with them. I don't like them. Change yourself for me. So they head to Vegas to cremate Peter Franks. And the urn that they give Bond is filled with the diamonds. So Bond drops it off at some like little burial spot, and Shady Tree, the next step in the pipeline, picks it up. And then Wint and Kidd knock out Bond, thinking that he's Peter Franks still. And they try to cremate him at the funeral home. "Very moving, heartwarming, Mr. Wint. A glowing tribute, Mr. Kidd." And they have to put the music on as they're doing this. Wint and Kidd. They're cremating this guy, but they have to have like the funeral home music on. The place is called Slumber Incorporated. The owner's name is Morton Slumber, a funeral home. Now, come on. That's funny. There's no shortage of jokes in this movie. Alright? So, just when you think Card Sense has had it, they stop the cremating stuff and they're like, "Hey, asshole, these fucking diamonds are fake. Where are the real diamonds?" And Bond's like, "Fuck your mother. Where's the real money? You didn't give me real money. You wouldn't burn up 50 grand for no reason. So, fuck you." So they're all pissed, like, "What the hell you think you're doing?" And Bond's just like, "Fuck it, I'm going gambling." And he just walks away and just goes to the casino and starts gambling. It's kind of weird. But anyway, so I guess Felix took the real diamonds out of Frank's asshole and gave him fake ones? I don't know. So Bond heads to the White House. That's a hotel in Vegas in the movie. Sees Shady Tree performing, that same dude that took the diamonds. Just a terrible act. Shady Tree and his acorns. So Wint and Kidd go kill Shady Tree. They're just knocking out everyone in the pipeline. And after they do that, some guy stops them and he's like, "Hey, hold it. We didn't get the real diamonds, so we need Shady Tree alive." And Wint and Kidd are like, "Well, shit. Like, y'all didn't just kill him, did you? You have that murderous look in your eye. Did you just kill him?" "No. You didn't just kill that guy. You just left his dressing room with smiles on your face. You didn't kill him?" "Nope." So if I go in there, I'm not going to see Shady Tree on the ground with no pulse. I don't know what you're going to find, but we didn't kill him. So if you'll excuse me, we're going to play some blackjack. So Bond's playing craps, and this gold-digging whore, Plenty O'Toole, meets him, who's just so annoying. Well, you talk about a game that I'm awful at is craps. I have had people explain that to me, drunk, sober, didn't matter. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. What are the numbers? I turned into a borderline, like, mental patient. That's just a side note. I'm not good at craps, so, I can play blackjack. I'm Plenty. But of course you are. Plenty O'Toole. Named after your father, perhaps. Now, she is hot. She's annoying, but she's extremely good looking. But just her lines are so cringeworthy. I'd like to, Maxie. Really, I would. Say, you've played this game before. You know something, Mr. Franks? You're a terrific guy. Ugh. I do love, why don't we go someplace and get a drink? And just cut straight to Bond's hotel room. And Bond's just coming off like a rapist. What a super place you have. So they start tongue kissing. And turns out there are gangsters in there. And they throw Tiffany out of a window. And Bond's like, I'm afraid you've caught me with more than my hands up. Which again, just great lines in this movie. They're killer. And while they're talking, all of a sudden the gangsters just leave. And he finds that Tiffany, Case, is in his bed waiting for him. So they make sex to each other, as you do. And they kind of come to an agreement. If he tells her where the diamonds are, she'll get them out of town. Some sort of arrangement where he gets a car, she gets the diamonds, I don't know. And you don't know who's being honest with who. So he has her play like this water gun game at the circus inside of a hotel to get the diamonds. And she ends up screwing Bond over and just escapes with the diamonds. Tell you what, something about this circus I just don't like, man. I don't like a circus, really. It's inside? How does that work? Is it the kids that make me mad? The elephants are just roaming around? That's not safe. Hey, leave the circus going to Roger. Alright? The only circus I like is an Octopussy circus. So just stop it. And stay stopped it. And as Tiffany leaves, by the way, speaking of elephants, there's an elephant playing the slot machine. And it wins, and then it gives out an elephant yell. That's the kind of movie we're dealing with right now. And she's followed by Felix's men. And she just escapes through this horror show in the circus where this girl turns into a gorilla or something. I don't know what's going on right now. Are we still in a Bond movie? What is all this? And as the woman changes into a gorilla, all the kids fucking stampede out of there and just there's 60 kids just running through the casino. What the? So every hour this just happens in this place? Have I mentioned I don't like this circus? I don't like a fair either while we're on the topic. You know what it is? It's those dirty fucking carnies. I don't trust them. Or maybe it's just the people that go to fairs and circuses. I don't like them either. And they're not showering as much as you'd like them to. So anyway, Bond gets a rental car. Now what a cool Bond moment that is. Bond picking up a rental car from Hertz. And Felix loses Tiffany. So back at her house, Bond goes there. And he's like, this fucking treacherous whore. Apparently, the thugs mistook Plenty for Tiffany, and they drowned her. There was a deleted scene that, explained all this. She found Tiffany's wallet. That's why she knew where Tiffany lives. But since they don't show you this deleted scene, it's well, who the hell's that in the pool? But yeah, Plenty O'Toole's dead if you cared. Because I don't. But I just felt the need to tell you that she's dead. Poor Plenty must have stumbled in looking for you. Poor Plenty. That's another tough letter to have to write. Dear Ma and Pa O'Toole, we regret to inform you of your daughter Plenty's tragic demise. We hear she was named after her father, so this must hurt extra for you, Mr. O'Toole. But when you get caught up in gold digging and general whoring, this is what can happen. I know you've heard of what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, it's no different in this situation because we don't really know who killed her or why, nor do we really care. We don't typically investigate the death of whores too much, so perhaps just be thankful that you're even getting this letter. Signed, Las Vegas Police Department. Oh, it's a horrible letter to get. Oh, our poor daughter Plenty in this terrible letter is so mean. So, Bond's had about enough, and he's like, all right, cut the shit. Who's your connection, Tiffany? And she's like, you sound like a cop. And he just smacks her. He's like, bitch, enough games. People are dying now. These are some high stakes. Plus, I didn't get to have sex with Plenty O'Toole. That's the real crime here. So cut the shit. Who's your fucking connection? I'm done screwing around. I got a gun. So apparently the diamonds are in this stuffed animal that she got from the gun game, and that's in some locker. I don't know. Dude, this is like, speaking of Octopussy, this is like finding the real egg in Octopussy. I'm like, where are the diamonds now? Am I supposed to care? Because I don't really care. I'm starting to lose interest in these diamonds. I just gotta be honest, guys. I don't know if y'all are, but I am. I don't really care anymore. So they follow the person who got that stuffed animal with the diamonds in it. Still chasing these things. And the person with the diamonds is Willard White's manager, Bert Saxby. Bert Saxby? To this lab or whatever. Saxby gets in some other car at the gas station. This is more like weird, like bad delivery from Tiffany. Keep leaning in that titty, Charlie, or you're gonna get a shot in the mouth. Okay, lady, you win. You win. Stop. Everybody stop talking. Y'all sound horrible. So Bond sneaks into the back of this rape van that Bert Saxby's in. Just to get in on the fun. Up in there. Sounds like my honeymoon. Yes, that's what I did on my honeymoon. I snuck into the back of a rape van to get in on the fun. Guys, don't laugh at that. Rape is not funny. Alright, it's enough. So Bond sneaks into the lab where they're doing I don't know what. And this Professor Metz is building a satellite. And they catch Bond fairly easily. Will you please leave, you irritating man? So Bond's running away. He goes past this fake moon landing being filmed. What the fuck? What's all this all about? And the director's like, what the hell is this? Amateur night? What the fuck is going on here? And they yell at the astronauts get him! Stop that man. And the astronauts start trying to catch Bond, but they're still doing the zero gravity thing. They're going in slow motion. Honest to God, what the hell? I mean, someone in charge must have been hey, you two assholes! What the hell was that? Why were you acting like there was no gravity still? I told you to stop them. Why didn't you stop them? Nothing to say there, Buzz and Neil? You two are fucking fired. So Bond escapes on this moon buggy, and these three-wheelers chase him. Which again, there's just no action sequence, really. It's just, they just had this little car, and they put a moon buggy frame over it, and they had some people with three-wheelers chase him for a while in the desert. Nothing happens, though. You can tell there was no money spent on anything. There's been no action sequences yet. There was the fight in the elevator, which cost no money, and the three-wheeler chase. You could hire some fucking teenagers to drive those three-wheelers. I mean, granted, they may break their necks, but who cares, right? And he ends up leaving with Tiffany after that chase. And the guards, which is something they never do in a Bond movie, the guards are like, fuck this, call the cops, man. I'm tired of chasing this dude. So Bond goes back to Vegas, and they're chased by the police. This whole thing is getting a little out of hand. One of my favorite Twitter accounts, I think I've mentioned him before, the Bubbles Tickle My Jakovsky. He tweeted one time, Tiffany Case reviews the third act of Dine of the Day. And it just cuts to Tiffany Case going, this whole thing is getting a little out of hand. Always enjoyed that. So yeah, the chase is cool just because I like seeing old Vegas, but they're not doing anything. The cars are kind of going fast, but they're just kind of going through the streets in Vegas. Clearly they didn't close off the streets because you can clearly see all kind of tourists just staring at this whole thing. Nothing really happens. They go into a parking lot. It's all just cheap. The big stunt is when Bond gets up on two wheels, all on his right side, to go through this narrow alleyway to get past the cop. But even that they fuck up because he leaves on the left side. So they actually have him changing sides in the alley, which makes no goddamn sense. You can't do that. So that's the big chase. That's the big action sequence of the movie. Just cars going down Las Vegas Boulevard really fast. That's it. It's one stuntman, no explosions, no gunshots, a bad sheriff. So Bond fucking escapes out of that parking lot. So he goes to back to the White House, the hotel. And him and Tiffany just start fucking on this fish tank bed, which just looks like the most uncomfortable thing in the world. And Felix and them walk in. I can't remember what they talk about, but they do talk. You can take my word for that. And Bond goes up on this top of this elevator, which is actually pretty cool. And he goes up to Willard White's room and kind of scales the building to get into the top penthouse to see what the hell's going on with Willard White. But it's not Willard White at all. It's Blofeld. Gasp! And there are two Blofelds. WT Fudge. What the hell's going on here? So yeah, he's still making doubles for himself. And one's been acting as Willard White with this voice box on the telephone. Well, that's a neat trick. And since Willard White's a hermit, I guess Howard Hughes is supposed to be, no one notices, I guess. Seems kind of simplified, but whatever. I'll just go with it. And he throws this cat to figure out which one's the right Blofeld, and just has this great shot to the forehead with like that whatever gun. And that delayed reaction death that he gives is so great. But it's the wrong Blofeld. Of course. Right idea, Mr. Bond. Wrong pussy. Hey, it's just nice hearing Sean Connery say pussy again, right? That's something we can all enjoy. And I'm always surprised Blofeld's not like, God damn it, Bond, it takes me like 2 years to create these doubles. Could you just stop killing them? That's 2 thus far, shooter. It's enough. And he forces him to like get back on the elevator, and Bond gets gassed. And he's picked up by Mr. Winton, Mr. Kidd. And they drive him out to this desert and just drop him off like in this piece of pipe and leave just giggling like schoolgirls. Like no one's going to notice him in that pipeline? I don't really understand that. But yeah, these construction workers come and put him as part of this pipeline. But he like destroys this machine, so these workers have to come like into the pipeline to fix it. I was just out walking my rat and I seem to have lost my way. That's another one of those. I'm like, is that a joke? Is that supposed to be funny? Am I supposed to laugh? I'll give you the polite laughter, but I don't even know what that means. How is this even supposed to kill Bond? How long does that gas last that they gave him? About 12 hours. Well, shit. What time do the construction workers start tomorrow? Is that going to be enough time? Even then, once he wakes up, couldn't he just crawl his ass out? This wasn't really... Why not just shoot him? So yeah, he just, I don't know, gets out of that pipeline and just leaves. So, good for Bond. Let's take a little break for the advertisement. Oh, the advertisement. What we got today? Stick in the mud tampons. No. Alright, I mean... Do I have to read this? Ladies making a bigger mess than you... Oh, bigger mess than usual down there? Go for stick in the mud tampons. Guaranteed to handle the heaviest of flows with ease. Okay. Alright, just buy it. I'm not finishing this thing. It's terrible. Stick in the mud. Look them up. That's up to you, ladies. I'm sure there's a lot of female listeners of this podcast. Bond news. Well, a lot of music Bond news. There was a new album that got released like yesterday or 2 days ago. I think it's called Bond 25 on Spotify. So it's like the Royal Philharmonic whatever orchestra. And they did instrumental versions, I think, of all the Bond themes, which is fucking awesome. So that's pretty cool. And then they have a concert in maybe the Royal Albert Hall, getting a bunch of Bond alumni back, and they're doing all these different Bond songs. That sounds freaking great. And it's supposed to be available on Amazon Prime. And then they're doing a music documentary about all the music of James Bond. It's supposed to come out, I think, on the 60th anniversary, October 5th. Which I think by the time this podcast comes out, that'll already be available. So, I'm looking forward to that. That sounds pretty cool. Huh? What do you think about that? You pretty excited for that? We do a little singing. We can do a little dancing. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. So, be on the lookout for that. I guess that's all of the Bond news I have. 3 things. We 3 things of Orientar. Alright, back to the movie. So, Bond calls Blofeld with that voice box to find out where the fuck Willard White is. And Willard White's like, I just saw James Bond in the casino. That's impossible. I gassed him and had 2 of my henchmen put him in a pipeline. Well, why the fuck did you do that? Why didn't you just shoot him? So, Blofeld tells him to kill Willard White. I don't know, I guess just fuck it, whatever. So Bond goes to Willard White's house. I guess that's, Blofeld tells him where it is? I don't know. And he comes across 2, security guards, Bambi and Thumper. Weird fucking fight. Strange. And they're 2, women that are 100 pounds each. Just clunk their heads together like Mo, man. You can't take these girls? So yeah, after a while, he's just had enough of Bambi and Thumper, and he's like, why don't you fucking, Bambi these balls? And just starts dunking their heads in the water. Are they his security? Why not have a few armed guards? He's a billionaire. If anyone comes to the house, just murder them. Don't ask questions. Well, what if they're a cop or your family members? Kill them? Did Willard White come out at the end what the fuck? How'd they get past you? Well, he dunked us in the water. And then 10 other men came with guns. And we weren't sure if our cartwheels and frickin' barrel rolls could fend off actual bullets. You might want to invest in some actual security guards and maybe getting us some guns just in case. Just for the future. So they find Willard White, who's played by Jimmy Dean, and they avoid like getting him killed by I don't know, Bert Saxby, or I can't remember who tries to kill him. And Willard White's like, what the hell's happened to me, and what can I do about it? Like, is he under mind control? Why is he not going into work at all? Why is he such a recluse? They never explain that. He hasn't been seen for 3 years. Like, why is he just at his house all the time? So back at the casino, Q's just winning slots on the rig because he has a gadget to do it. That seems kind of like he's cheating. And Tiffany walks up to him. Hiya, Mr. Q. Having any luck? Listen, Mr. Q. Like, asking him if she's going to get off now that she's, like, working for the good guys. And, like, can you put in a good word? And Q is so uninterested. He's like, oh my God, I don't care. Why would I care if you go to prison or not? I don't give a shit. I do gadgets. Why am I always, like, stuck in the middle of, like, this Bond girl shit? I'm a married man that, like, I like my gadgets, I like my wife, and that's it. Why do I get in the middle of this shit? Ooh, do you think Bond loves me, or what's with James? Oh my God, I don't care. Stop bothering me. And meanwhile, Blofeld's leaving in drag. He's dressed as a woman. That's Ernst Stavro Blofeld, one of the most diabolical villains of all time. He's cross-dressing, leaving the casino. And is anyone even looking for him? Like, everyone that wants him dead, they're all at Willard White's house. But he keeps the cat and, like, the henchman and the cigarette that everyone knows him by. So, not much of a disguise there. I mean, imagine him putting that dress on in front of his henchman. With the high heels and, like, the wig and putting on lipstick. That can't be good for morale. That henchman's just looking on like, I don't think I want to work here anymore. This is getting a little strange. And Blofeld just walks up. Can you zip me up? No, I can't zip you up. Fuck this. I'm going to play blackjack. So, Bond goes to show Willard White this satellite that he saw, but it's not there anymore. And Willard White's all pissed because Blofeld, like, works there now. Everything's a mess. And it's like, well, dude, this is what happens when you don't show up for work for, like, several years. When the boss doesn't show up to the office, things go haywire. You have maniacal maniacs. That's redundant. A maniacal maniac working here all of a sudden. You got nuclear bombs at play. Like, this is what happens, dude. Show up to work. I don't know what to tell you, bud. Things tend to unravel. And something about them, like, launching the rocket, but it goes the wrong way or something. I don't know. I can't, That's one of the plot points that kind of escaped me. So, basically, the plan is to create laser satellite using the diamonds. And then destroy China, the Soviet, and the U.S. nuclear bombs. Then propose international auction for nuclear supremacy. Yeah, I guess. And I'm not even sure if they explain why you need why the diamonds are important to that satellite. I'm sure they do. I just missed it, but like, because that would be a huge plot hole. But I have no idea. Maybe you could tell me. I don't know. And they try to stop the satellite or something, but it's like the guidance system's all fucked up. So Blofeld's just controlling this thing, and they start blowing up all these nukes. And they should have just said, "Oh yeah, the nukes are all blown up," because they actually show the scene, and it's, dude, these mushroom clouds are a joke. It's just white smoke. It looks like someone blowing out a cigarette. Like, their explosions in this movie is just something turning red, like really beet red all of a sudden, and the screen fades away, and then you see this horrible mushroom cloud. I mean, it looks like a fucking, like a monkey did it. Like they went to that circus and just like found a chimpanzee, and they're like, "Hey, you do the special effects for this," and they just started hitting the keyboard, and that's what they came out with. It looks like I did these special effects. That's how bad these look. And so they go to Willard White's office, Bond and him. "Got a phone call, Mr. White, urgent from Washington." He's like, I'll take it on the shitter. And Bond's like, "Where's Tiffany?" And Felix is like, "Do you mind if we find Blofeld first?" Which, I'm on Felix's side here. Who the fuck cares about Tiffany? There are nukes going off. People are dying, like cities are destroyed now. Who cares about Tiffany Case? Dude, they blow up one of these Chinese ones, and those Chinese people running around on fire, how fake it is. It's insulting to me. Like, again, I'd just rather you not even show it. That's how bad it is. Just say, "Oh, hey, by the way, this Chinese city got blown up." Okay. It's terrible. And they never really, like, revisit the whole fact that all these cities are destroyed. What is that, like North Dakota? Somewhere in Russia? Well, who cares? Somewhere in China? Who cares? But hey, there's a North American city that's at stake here. I care. So they figure out where Blofeld is. It's like on some oil rig base in Baja, California. Baja? So Bond goes over there and like turns himself in, just right away. Like, well, that was easy. You're not up to something, are you? So he gets to Blofeld's rig, base, whatever. The signs throughout this place are so great. If in doubt, ask. No pollution, not any. Take every precaution. Bond gets there. He's like, good morning, gentlemen. Acme Pollution Inspection. We're cleaning up the world. We thought this was a suitable starting point. Just been funny if they just unloaded their guns on him. Like, this is not a game, dude. We're blowing up nukes here. Don't come over here with those fucking jokes. So Tiffany gives him like that fake tape. I don't think I've mentioned the little cassette tape. Something about the cassette tape is like important. It's the guidance system. I have no idea. But you need the tape to fire off the nukes or whatever. Sorry I missed all that. And they're holding the world hostage, so they haven't heard from him in a while. So they're like, well, should we blow up a city? Or maybe Kansas. How about New York? And Blofeld's like, well, all that smut and traffic, it would give them a chance for a fresh start. Which, hey, I'm actually behind Blofeld on that one. Might be a good chance for them to start over. So they end up making their target Washington, D.C. And Bond ends up switching the tapes, but then Tiffany switches it back. She fucks it up somehow. You stupid twit. Comes running at him. I did it. I switched the tape in the machine in front of all the guards. Like, dude, they're going to hear this shit, man. Even if we did do this successfully, you might be setting off some red flags here. Hey, she just said she switched the tapes, guy. Now, speaking of those lightning bolts as Spectre's new symbol, some guards have one lightning bolt, some have two, some have three. What's that all about? What do you think? Any theories on that? Is that like a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star general? Like, is that how many people you killed? What's that all about? Any theories? Again, call me on my landline and we can figure this out together. So, as Blofeld's going to like send this rocket off to DC, that Professor Metz guy who was making the satellite, I'm not even sure if I mentioned him, but he's the guy that's helping Blofeld build the satellite and everything. He's a pacifist, I guess. Like, he just wants world peace. So he thinks they're just destroying everyone's nukes. So they're just disarming the whole world. So that's why he teams up with Blofeld. And Blofeld's like, nah, fuck that. Oh, I see it all now. You don't care at all about world peace. Did you think he did? Did you vet him at all? Did you do any research on Blofeld? You thought Blofeld's goal here was world peace. You deserve to be shot. Sorry. And meanwhile, Leiter and Willard White attack with their helicopters. And Blofeld sees Tiffany with the tape. Again, the tape are like the diamonds. I can't even figure out what's the right one and what's the wrong one. It's like the octopusy egg. And again, like these helicopters exploding are the fakest bullshit. It's terrible. Now, a few of them on the rig are okay, so I'll give them that. Like, those are fine, but because I mean, this is the climax of the movie, so they spent some money on it. But Jesus Christ, it's terrible. It's just a far shot of the rig and just explosions here and there. None of them are big, and the whole thing never does blow up. Spoiler alert. And Professor Metz is like, tell them we surrender. This is madness. One more word from you, Mintz, and I'll have you shot. And then he just goes to the greatest Blofeld moment. He's like, we're not fucking surrendering. We're not doing shit. Back to your post. And he just tells a henchman, prepare my submarine. Like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I just love those two henchmen that are preparing a sub. And they're like, what the fuck are you going? What about me? I'm going to go too, man. I don't want to get blown up on this rig. Can I come? No, I'm sorry. It's a one-seater. We'll come back for you. So he tries to escape on that little sub thing, but Bond gets in that crane and just starts fucking with him, basically, just making him car sick. He's thrown up everywhere. He doesn't feel well. It's bad news. And he crashes it into the control room and just fucks everything up, so it just destroys the whole mission, basically. So I guess hooray. Tiffany Case, meanwhile, is shooting a machine gun. I'm just going to say it. I don't think she should be handling a automatic weapon. That's just me. I'm not a gun safety expert. But we need to get that gun out of her hands. Right now. What if Blofeld in the middle of all this, like just getting slammed into everything, he's like, I cannot wait to get my fucking hands on the person that's controlling this crane right now. I'm going to... What's like more than kill somebody? Because I'm gonna like torture them. And we actually never even find out what happens to Blofeld. He crashes it into that control room, and that's it. It just cuts to Bond on a boat. So I actually have no idea. And this fight was supposed to be a different kind of fight, like a big budget fight. I can't remember what it was supposed to be. Again, perhaps I should have looked that up before. But I don't know. I guess the producers were like, fuck it. Just do it on this rig, and we're good. So, all's well that ends well. So anyway, back to that ship. where Bond and Tiffany are on there, and Wint and Kid come in as waiters. Ah, you forgot about them, didn't you? It's all right. I forgot about them too. And Bond remembers his aftershave. I just love this. That's rather potent. Not the cork, your aftershave. Strong enough to bury anything. I would have expected a claret. Oh, well, our cellar is poorly stocked with clarets. This is a claret, and I've smelt that aftershave before. So it's like, okay, let's fucking dance. And Mr. Kidd just says, fuck it. He's doing the kebabs and just lights kebabs on fire. And I don't even know, what was their plan? I mean, they were supposed to blow up Bond with that cake bomb, but Mr. Kidd just takes some inflamed kebabs, and that was going to kill Bond? I don't really know what the plan was, but I know I do like this scene. So Wint's trying to strangle Bond. He throws that claret all over Kid, and Kid turns into a motherfucking fireball, and it is hilarious. And that makes Wint all butthurt about losing his boyfriend. So Bond puts the bomb in between his legs and, like, twists. I mean, it's so funny. I can't do it justice to explain it, but he ties the bomb by his ass, flips him over, explodes him in the water, and says, well, he's certainly left with his tail between his legs. This is like my favorite ending of any Bond movie. And my least favorite movie, I think it's my favorite ending. It's so ridiculous and funny. And there's end credits. There's Diamonds Are Forever. There she blows. It performed better than On Her Majesty's Secret Service because, again, you got the Golden Boy back. Connery movie's going to put butts in the buckets, asses in the seats. Criticized for its campiness and all that, but still did well. The reviews today are not good. The fans, not good. It's like 21, 22, 20 on everyone's list. It does have its fans. I know a lot of people I know really like Diamonds Are Forever. God bless them. Not my movie, man. I was explaining it I was talking about it earlier. It's so cheap. You can just tell how it looks like a TV movie. And I mentioned this on my ranking episode that this is the only Bond movie that I consider to be like beneath the Bond brand. Like it just looks so horrible. It's not classy. None of this looks good. It's so cheaply made. It's like an insult. Not to say the Bond producers are above just cashing in some money, because they got the golden goose, but I don't know, man. Put out a product that you can respect. Have some respect for yourself. Anyway, I don't like it. Never have. I know Calvin Dyson had said that if you go into this as if it's a comedy, then you might enjoy it. So I don't know. I guess I'll do that next time, but I don't know. Just not a big fan of it. And obviously after this, Connery decided not to come back after all, and Roger Moore came to save the day. So, Connery's, I don't find to be very good. He's completely out of shape. This is less than 10 years since Dr. No. He looks like shit. The girls are okay. Tiffany's, in the first half, she's good. Second half, she's just annoying. Plenty's annoying. Jill St. John, though, the one that plays Tiffany, she is an advocate for Bond girls. She is great. She embraces fully her role as Bond girl. Those Bond girls that say oh, it's a demeaning role for women. She's always like, oh, really? Then don't take the fucking part. You're an adult, aren't you? Don't take the role if you find it so disrespectful. It's an honor to be a Bond girl. So I like her in real life. And she's like a whore in real life, like a real one. She's married 6 times and just, I don't know, whored around. So was Plenty. Lana Wood. That's right, Lana Wood. Her sister was Natalie Wood. Dude, I got all kind of fun facts about these bitches. All right, Lana Wood, her sister's Natalie Wood, who obviously, if you don't know the story, look it up, but she drowned off the boat with her husband Robert Wagner and Christopher Walken, who plays Max Zorn. And they say, did her husband do it? Was it an accident? Who knows? Who are you? It got reopened a couple years ago. Everyone kind of thinks, did he push her off that boat? Real sketchy. So, Robert Wagner was her husband. Well, Jill St. John ended up marrying Robert Wagner. So, how about that connection? And during the filming of this, I think Sean Connery was involved with both girls, Jill St. John and Plenty O'Toole, which caused even more of a riff with those two. And this is just on my Wikipedia research. The pair's half-century feud has been highlighted by 2 well-documented public altercations. One in September 1999 when St. John refused to be photographed with Wood at a Bond girl reunion. And another in 2016 when Lana Wood crashed an event honoring St. John in Palm Springs and confronted Wagner over the reopened death case of her sister Natalie. Now, I'll actually do a whole episode just on these two, huh? This is some drama. And I just found out about this like yesterday. So I'm still reeling from it. So, there's some drama behind the scenes. That's fun. I didn't know Connery dated them both. Jill say John also dated like George Lazenby for a while. I mean, there's a lot going on here. And she was the first American Bond girl. So how about that? That's fun. So anyway, I do love the henchman Winton Kid. Some of the dialogue is like funny, and I like Winton Kid. And I like that last scene. That's about all I like from this movie. I can at least have fun with it. It's bad, but whatever. The Felix sucks. Willard White's not very good. Blofeld sucks. Even the book sucks, and it has nothing to do with this movie. It just blows. Like, if you want to cut corners, that's cool. Like, you need to save money. Dr. No did it very well. They didn't have any money, but they came out with a quality Bond movie, a quality-looking Bond movie. But this just looks like shit, and it's, like, insulting. Hey, it insults my intelligence, which is hard to do. So, there you go. There's Diamonds Are Forever. Not my favorite, my least favorite Bond movie as of 2022. But we'll see. You never know. Could make a comeback. And the next time we meet, I'll be doing my second to least favorite Bond movie, Die Another Day. So, look out. All right, we'll see you next time.
Diamonds are forever.